The existence of African indigenous spirituality. Africa is a vast and diverse continent home to 55 countries, over 2,000 languages, and a wide range of cultures, religions, and landscapes. Africa is the second largest continent in the world, covering an area of approximately 30 million square kilometers. The continent is bounded by the Mediterranean Sea to the north, the Red Sea to the northeast, the Indian Ocean to the southeast, and the Atlantic Ocean to the west. Africa is home to the world's largest desert, the Sahara, as well as the Nile River, the longest river in the world. Africa is home to over 2,000 languages, including Arabic, English, French, Portuguese, and Swahili. The continent is also home to a wide range of cultures, including traditional African cultures, Islamic cultures, and European-influenced cultures. Africa is known for its rich musical heritage, including genres such as Afrobeat. Highlife. Africa is rich in natural resources, including oil, gas, gold, diamonds, and copper. African indigenous spirituality is a diverse and complex phenomenon that encompasses various traditional spiritual practices and beliefs of the indigenous peoples of Africa. African indigenous spirituality refers to the traditional spiritual practices and beliefs of the indigenous peoples of Africa. These spiritualities are often characterized by one ancestor's reverence. Ancestor reverence is a widespread and deeply ingrained practice in many African cultures. It is based on the belief that ancestors continue to play an active role in the lives of their descendants, offering guidance, protection, and wisdom. The key aspects of ancestor reverence in Africa are the belief in the continued existence. Ancestors are believed to continue existing in some form, often as spirits or in the afterlife. Respect and honor. Ancestors are shown respect and honor through various rituals, ceremonies, and practices. The communication and offerings. Ancestors are communicated with through prayer, offerings, and sacrifices to seek guidance, protection, and blessings. African indigenous spirituality is a diverse and complex phenomenon that encompasses various traditional spiritual practices and beliefs of the indigenous peoples of Africa. African indigenous spirituality refers to the traditional spiritual practices and beliefs of the indigenous peoples of Africa. These spiritualities are often characterized by one ancestor's reverence. Ancestor reverence is a widespread and deeply ingrained practice in many African cultures. It is based on the belief that ancestors continue to play an active role in the lives of their descendants, offering guidance, protection, and wisdom. The key aspects of ancestor reverence in Africa are the belief in the continued existence. Ancestors are believed to continue existing in some form, often as spirits or in the afterlife. Respect and honor. Ancestors are shown respect and honor through various rituals, ceremonies, and practices. The communication and offerings. Ancestors are communicated with through prayer, offerings, and sacrifices to seek guidance, protection, and blessings. In some cultures, ancestors are worshipped as deities or revered as sacred beings. Examples of ancestor reverence in Africa. Yoruba Egungun. In West Africa, the Yoruba people have a complex system of ancestor reverence, which involves the worship of ancestors through masked dances and rituals. Zulu ancestor reverence in Southern Africa. The Zulu people have a strong tradition of ancestor reverence, which involves the communication with ancestors through prayer and offerings. Maasai ancestor reverence in East Africa. The Maasai people have a deep reverence for ancestors who are believed to continue playing an active role in the lives of their descendants. Dogon ancestor reverence. West Africa. The Dogon people have a complex system of ancestor reverence, which involves the worship of ancestors through rituals and ceremonies. Ancestor reverence provides a sense of connection to one's heritage and cultural roots. Ancestors are often sought for guidance, wisdom, and protection. Ancestor reverence can foster a sense of community and shared identity among family and cultural groups. Ancestor reverence helps preserve cultural heritage and traditional knowledge. 2. Animism. Animism is a widespread spiritual belief system in Africa, where it is often deeply rooted in the cultural and traditional practices of various communities here are some key aspects of animism in Africa. Animism in Africa is characterized by the belief that all living things, including animals, plants, and natural features, possess a spiritual essence or consciousness. Animist beliefs in Africa recognize a wide range of spiritual entities, including ancestors, spirits, and deities, which are believed to inhabit the natural world and influence human affairs. Animism in Africa is often closely tied to the natural environment, with many spiritual practices and rituals centered around the land, animals, and natural features. Ancestor reverence is an important aspect of animism in Africa, with many communities believing that ancestors continue to play an active role in the lives of their descendants. Examples of animist practices in Africa: Yoruba, Orisha worship in West Africa. The Yoruba people of West Africa have a complex animist belief system that recognizes a pantheon of Orishas, which are believed to possess supernatural powers and are associated with various aspects of nature and human experience. Maasai ancestor reverence in East Africa. The Maasai people of East Africa have a strong animist belief system that emphasizes the importance of honoring and respecting ancestors. Sand bushcraft and tracking in Southern Africa. The San people of Southern Africa have a deep understanding of the natural environment, which is rooted in their animist belief system. Dogon cosmology in West Africa. The Dogon people of West Africa have a complex animist cosmology that recognizes a wide range of spiritual entities and emphasizes the interconnectedness of all things. Animist beliefs have influenced African art and symbolism, with many artworks and symbols reflecting the spiritual essence of animals, plants, and natural features. Animist beliefs have influenced African environmental conservation practices, with many communities recognizing the spiritual essence of the natural world and working to preserve it for future generations. 3. Holism. Holism is a fundamental concept in many African cultures and spiritual traditions. It emphasizes the interconnectedness and interdependence of all things, including humans, animals, plants, and the natural environment. In Africa, holism is often reflected in the following ways, such as Ubuntu philosophy. This philosophy, originating from Southern Africa, emphasizes the interconnectedness of all human beings in the natural world. It is often translated as humanity towards others, or I am, because we are community-oriented spirituality. Many African spiritual traditions emphasize the importance of community and the interconnectedness of all members. This is reflected in communal rituals, ceremonies, and decision-making processes in many African cultures. Ancestors are believed to continue playing an active role in the lives of their descendants. This emphasizes the interconnectedness of past, present, and future generations. African spiritual traditions often emphasize the importance of living in harmony with nature. This is reflected in rituals, ceremonies, and daily practices that acknowledge the interconnectedness of humans and the natural environment. African indigenous knowledge systems often emphasize holism in their understanding of the natural world. This is reflected in traditional medicine, agriculture, and conservation practices that recognize the interconnectedness of all living things. Examples of holistic practices in Africa include Maasai community-based conservation in East Africa. The Maasai people have developed a holistic approach to conservation that emphasizes the interconnectedness of humans, animals, and the natural environment. Yoruba Ifa divination in West Africa. Ifa divination is a holistic practice that recognizes the interconnectedness of all things. It is used for guidance, healing, and decision-making. San bushcraft and tracking. Southern Africa. The San people have developed a holistic approach to bushcraft and tracking that emphasizes the interconnectedness of humans, animals, and the natural environment. African indigenous medicine. Many African indigenous medicine systems emphasize holism in their understanding of human health and well-being. They recognize the interconnectedness of physical, emotional, and spiritual aspects of human health. Conclusively, the importance of Africans' indigenous Spirituality includes cultural preservation. It preserves cultural heritage and traditional knowledge. Community cohesion. African indigenous spirituality fosters a sense of community and shared identity among family and cultural groups. African indigenous spirituality encourages a deep respect for the natural environment and promotes conservation practices. It provides guidance, wisdom, and protection through communication with ancestors and spirits. Thanks for watching. Please do like and subscribe for more.